What we saying, guys? Exltd here, back with another Dragon Ball FighterZ revisiting fundamentals video, and in this video we'll be covering one of the most, if not the most important system mechanic, Superdash. As always, please like and subscribe, and let's get into it. So when we're on the ground, we have access to more options than when we're in the air, because we can't air reflect. Right, we just get our ki blast or whatever everyone's character has. When we're on the ground we can reflect. When we're on the ground we can 2H, we can use some of our special moves to stop Superdash. Now starting with reflect, when we reflect a Superdash, you can see we push the opponent away at a safe spacing where we can't be punished. Now you might be wondering, when you see a lot of pro players instinctively do a reflect instead of a 2H, you're wondering why did they do that when they could have got more damage from a 2H. Well, you just got to think of the risk reward, right? This is guaranteed. Vegeta's getting pushed back, you know what I mean? He's not going to be able to Superdash immediately, like Superdash straight instantaneously after the reflect, you know what I mean? Because he's recovering. That reflect, there is recovery. Sometimes you're not able to get the 2H out on time and you'll get hit, especially at these closer ranges, right? It's going to be harder for you to react to it unless you actually have some sort of read on your opponent. So it's always better to do a reflect when you're unsure, just to keep things safe, especially at closer ranges. Moving on, we have the 2H. And the 2H, I like to think of it as, you know, when you're playing Street Fighter and your opponent is just jumping at you, this is our Shoryuken, just without the invincibility, right? So everybody's 2H is different. Some have faster startup, some have different properties on their 2Hs. But 2H ideally is one of the best ways to do a reflect on the ground. Why? Because you actually get damage. You know, you can convert this into a combo and then do what you have to do from there. You are literally punishing them for doing it. Do you understand? This game has an air block, so it's not like Street Fighter where you can just do jump-ins like this and then you just do your anti-air and you punish them. You know, we have a Superdash in this game. You know, a full screen home-in tracking move that gets you from point A to point B. And this is our best way of punishing it, right? So we've got the reflect, we've got the 2H. Now we're moving on to the normals. So if you want an even greater reward for punishing a Superdash, you can actually use your normals, especially your medium starters. Now I don't know how much damage that did, but it was a medium starter, probably did like a decent amount of damage. But you can understand what I'm saying, like a well-timed normal can actually punish a Superdash. Do you know what I mean? Some characters have very good normals like Bardock that can actually punish Superdash every single time. Now this is without the assists. When you start throwing in assists and things like that, this is risky. Do you know what I mean? But it is possible. Let's say you're playing offline now as opposed to online because there's lag, right? A good timed normal can actually help you, you know, deal with the Superdash. So definitely look at your character's toolkit. Do you have normals that can help you punish Superdash from a far range? And if you do, I'd advise you to use them. Now the devs knew how important Superdash was going to be for the game, so they gave us moves that we could use on the ground. In our case, special moves that we could use to deal with Superdash. Now I can appreciate not every character has the amount that Bardock has to do with Superdashes, but other characters have more, if not better ones, right? So we have these moves for a reason. If you think about this move in particular, right? Our medium Rebellion Spear, it literally acts as like, you know, this is as anti Superdash as it gets. Do you know what I mean? It's upward rising, it meets the Superdash and it deals with it, or it didn't meet it there, but you know what I'm trying to say. It deals with it. And you know, you can actually just convert it into a combo. Do you know what I mean? So you need to look at it from that standpoint. Some people don't really use that move to punish Superdash. These moves are there, right? You have to know how to use it, whether on your air or on the ground. It can be used to stop the approach. So look at the moves, especially the special moves that your characters have, right? And how are they going to deal with Superdash? They're there for a reason. The devs gave them to us because they know how important Superdash is in this game. So you need to utilize them properly. Look at your characters. What does this move do? Do you think this move is a good use to stop Superdash? And if it is, then use it. If it's not, then find another move that you can use. You need to be experimenting with these things. That's the only way to improve. When it comes to the air, you need to think of it like this, right? When we're on the ground with the earthbenders, when we're the air with the airbenders, do you know what I mean? We play neutral in the skies. This is Dragon Ball FighterZ. So we use our air normals to deal with Superdash. A well-timed JLJM will greatly help you nullify our opponent's approach when it comes to dealing with Superdash in the skies, right, in the air. If you're lucky and you're blessed like Vegeta, you might have an air DP as well, or an air level 3. Utilize these different tools, make sure that you're comfortable using them when you're playing neutral, and I'm telling you, you'll increase the rate in which you're dealing with Superdash. Like I said before, the closer we are to our opponent, the harder it is for us to deal with Superdash. So in situations like this where we can dash underneath our opponent, we're giving them a longer distance to travel, meaning that we can deal with Superdash more appropriately. Many a time we've been in this situation in game. You can deal with it with a reflect if that's your safest option, or if you have some time and you're confident, go for a 2H. Your opponent will be frustrated because in this situation, they're doing an IAD back and then they're doing an immediate super dash. They're scared. When they see the dash under, a lot of players don't know what to do, so they panic super dash. Use that as the right opportunity to punish them. When it comes to the game psychology, our opponent is most likely to super dash when they're down a character or two. Okay, why? Because it's harder for them to approach. If they have no assists and they're playing neutral against this, they're getting frustrated now. How are they going to get in? We're zoning them all the time, right? We can expect super dashes to come around this time. Vegeta's all by himself. I have both of my assists. I'm moving around like this. He's going to get frustrated. And that's why when it's a 3v1, you're shocked when people make the comeback, because you know the super dash is going to happen. Time isn't on their side. The life lead isn't on their side. Resources aren't on their side. Use that as the right opportunity to bait your opponent into super dashing and get an easy punish. In the beginning of games, when the match has started and nobody knows how the other person plays, right? You might just see random super dashes, especially with times where you can do mix-ups where they can't guard cancel because they have no bar. You know what I mean? They're less likely to react to the super dash assist because they don't know whether or not you're going to do it. They don't know how you're going to play. You can just catch them off guard. So random super dashes, you know, to get pressure started, especially in the beginning of a game as well, is another place that you need to start looking for them. When you have all these different spots and times within matches where super dashes are most likely to occur, you'll have a greater time dealing with them because you know they're coming. That's it for the video, guys. Remember, super dash is your friend, not your enemy. Well, it is your enemy, but you need to know your enemy to defeat your enemy. As always, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.